You're listening to the Sermon Podcast for the Peak Church, located in Apex, North Carolina. Our church is striving to welcome all who are feeling disconnected from God. And so our hope is that over the next several minutes, you will connect with the God that we are talking about, and you'll resonate deeply with the life that this God wants for you. We hope you enjoy.
The scripture passage is the book of Matthew, chapter 12, verses 33 through 37. Either consider the tree good and its fruit good, or consider the tree rotten and its fruit rotten. A tree is known by its fruit. Children of snakes, how can you speak good things while you are evil? What fills the heart comes out of the mouth. Good people bring out good things from their good treasure, but evil people bring out evil things from their evil treasure. I tell you that people will have to answer on Judgment Day for every useless word they speak. By your words, you will be either judged innocent or condemned as guilty. This is the word of God for us, the people of God.
This morning we're going to start with a game. You want to play a game? I like games. The game we're going to play is, which is it? Real or AI? In a moment, I'm going to show you a series of pictures, and you have to choose for yourself. Was this picture a real, genuine, authentic photo taken, or was it generated using artificial intelligence? You ready? All right, picture number one. What is this? Y'all are quick on that. Why? Why? What do you see? What do you see? What do you see? What'd you say? The shine. Someone in last service says, because they're smiling while eating with their in-laws. I was like, all right, a little TMI. Let's talk after church. What else? What else do you see? It's too sharp. Okay, a little too crisp. Okay, so we're going to go to the second one. We got pterodactyl hands. We got pterodactyl hands. Yep. Look at the wall. See anything on the wall? I don't know about you, but I just need one thermostat to run my home, right? My personal favorite, not sure what your practice is at your home, if you abide by the legal drinking age or not, but my man right here in the front is smashing some Chardonnay. We shouldn't judge. We don't know what type of week he's had, okay? Algebra's tricky. Okay, that was an easy one. Next, is this real or AI? Number 1 for real, hold up a 2 for AI. Is this 1 real or 2 AI? Okay, lots of ones. If you chose 1, you are correct. This is a real picture. This is the Rainbow Mountains in the Zhanghe Geological Park in China. Actually, you can visit this place. Due to tons of years of erosion and the different chemical sort of reactions due to the minerals that are sort of interacting with one another, it's given us over many, many centuries this beautiful artistic sort of rock formation that quite frankly could pass as an iPhone background. Okay, let's do one more. Ready? You've seen this picture probably before. Okay, number 1 for real, 2 for AI. 1 for real, 2 for AI. All right, if you held up 1, right? This is the classic VJ Day, when we explored that wonderful victory. If you said 1, you would have been understood. You would have been totally sympathized with until you zoom in a little bit closer, and this is either AI or I, miraculously, was at VJ Day. Go back to the other one. Yeah, it's tricky, right? Yeah, there we are. Yeah. Well, friends, today, we are, as you can see, we are continuing a sermon series that we've been in for the last several weeks. If you're just joining us for the first time this morning, here in person or online, welcome. For the last couple weeks and for the next several weeks, we are in a sermon series called What Would Jesus Say? The reality is that Jesus said a lot, but there's a lot of things that we encounter today, we are navigating today, questions and struggles we have today that Jesus said nothing about. Why? Because, well, in the case of AI, they didn't even exist yet. And so what are we supposed to do with those things? What are we supposed to do with those topics and those struggles and those questions? And so for the next several weeks, what we're doing is we are taking a look at what Jesus did in fact say, what were his teachings, what was his perspective, what was his worldview, what wisdom did he have to offer? And if we can extrapolate that and apply it to our modern day problems, maybe we'll have a pulse on what Jesus would say, what coaching he might offer, especially on this newfound tool. This newfound tool that for some of us is a cause for great excitement. Some of us, when we learn about the advancements with AI, we are thrilled, we are hopeful, we are ecstatic about what this could mean for us as a human civilization. Meanwhile, others of us are feeling some angst, aren't we? Feeling some worry about what this could mean, what this could do to us. And so again, what would Jesus have to say? Let's dig into our passage for today. The companion passage that we chose for this particular topic is Matthew chapter 12. And to give you some context as to where we are in this story, Jesus has been having this on and off again battle with the religious leaders at this time. The pastors, the priests, right? It doesn't matter what Jesus does. It doesn't matter what Jesus says. These guys have it out for him. And so they will lie about the things that Jesus said. They will twist the things that Jesus said. They will manipulate the things that Jesus said. They're, meanwhile, all the while trying to plot to have Jesus executed. These are pastors. These are religious leaders, spiritual people, people who supposedly are full of integrity and honesty, that we could always trust to do the right thing. It's these folks who are committing these actions. And so Jesus pulls his followers aside and he says, let this just be a lesson to you. That you can't judge people, and you can't judge really anything in this world based off of the outward appearance. He uses this analogy of the tree and fruit. Verse 33, Jesus says this. He says, if you make a tree good, its fruit will be good. But if a tree is bad, then its fruit will be bad. For a tree is recognized by its fruit. In other words, what Jesus is saying, he's saying, in my kingdom, we don't pay attention to outward appearance. We don't look at how it looks on the outside or what other people say about it or what labels or categories other people give it. We look at the fruit. God looks at the core. God pops the hood and wants to see what's underneath the thing. And in so doing, Jesus offers us a really, really, really good filter, a really, really good framework to take into our lives. Instead of walking around all day long, every day going, well, I wonder if this is good or bad, or I wonder if this is Christian or unchristian. Instead, Jesus would say, that's the wrong question. The right question is, what type of fruit is it bearing in the world? Put simply, what is it doing in the world? What's it doing to you? What's it doing to other people? What effect is it having on the things around us? And so we're going to take that framework, because that's a really, really good framework, and we're going to apply it to artificial intelligence. What kind of fruit is this new technology bearing in the world? And I think Jesus would have some follow-up questions. In fact, I think he would ask that question in three distinct ways. I think the first question Jesus would ask is this: is the fruit real? If you are using artificial intelligence, if you are using technology in your day-to-day life, you need to ask this question: is what I'm getting, is the information I'm reading and trusting, are the images that I am looking at and trusting, are they real? That game that we started with demonstrates kind of the tricky spot we're in nowadays. AI is getting smarter, it's getting better, and so as a result, it's getting increasingly more difficult to know, is this information legit or not? Is this image legit or not? Now, I want to be fair. On the one hand, this can be quite harmless, right? couple months ago, many of you joined in with me. We partook of that social media trend where we could ask AI to create a caricature of ourselves. Anybody else do that? I submitted a photo, some info about myself. This is what it came up with. This is apparently what I look like in cartoon form. My favorite part of this entire image is the guy in the front row of my sermon is wearing headphones. And not just any kind, the noise canceling kind. I was like, okay, well, that was a little too honest. Great, thanks, great. My kids have fun with this all the time. They love to sneak and take pictures of me and turn them into me wearing a coat made of Chili's chips. I love those chips, hallelujah. They love to take pictures of me and turn me into a cat inspired by our feline at home. They like to take pictures of me and turn me into one of the Muppets, for crying out loud. We laugh about this. This is fun. This is fine. This is funny. This is entertaining, right? Is it real? Sometimes inauthenticity is not always a bad thing. It's just meant for joy, right? But at the same time, inauthenticity can be quite damaging. It can be quite painful. It can do harm to people. A couple months ago, I got a message from someone in our community who had fallen on really tough times and was asking for help. And I almost fell for it. We take these requests, by the way, very, very seriously. If anyone from the community ever reaches out and say, we're going through medical problems, we're going through financial problems, and we need help, me and Pastor Katie take every single one of those very, very seriously. And we did so with this case. And it was incredible. The family pictures that they created looked 100% legit, not the shiny one that I showed you earlier. They created an entire website detailing the struggles of this family, the familial, the medical struggles that they'd had this whole time, asking for donations and sharing these things. And so I'm looking at all this, and I'm about to jump in and help, but that little spidey sense goes off. And so I have some friends at Apex PD, and so I shared that with the local police department. I was like, hey, can you just take a look at this? He's like, sure. We'll send it to our technology guy. He'll take a look at it. An hour later, they call me back, and they say, turns out this is actually 100% completely fraudulent. I was that close. So I guess my point is simply this. If you're considering using this technology in some way, at work or in your relationships, and I'm not naive. I know some people use this for spiritual matters. I know some people use artificial intelligence when it comes to better understanding the Bible or better understanding theological matters. My point is simply this. Just make sure the fruit it's giving you is real. And if you don't know, you gotta have some means by which to verify whether or not it's real. We're gonna talk about this in the podcast tomorrow and share a little bit more of like some tactics and some strategies that you can take to verify these things, but it's really, really important we ask this question. Is it real? Is it authentic? Is it genuine? Secondly, I think another question Jesus would really encourage us to ask of this tool, of this technology, is not should you do it or not do it. Jesus goes deeper than that. What is it doing to you? What is it growing in you? What kind of fruit is growing inside of you when you use this technology, right? And I want to be very, very clear. Sometimes it can grow really, really good stuff in us, right? This summer, my family is going to Disney World for the very first time as a family. How many of you have been to Disney World before? Yeah. You know. One does not simply go to Disney World. Absolutely not. It's a military mission, baby. It's a military mission. You gotta have roles, a triage system, evacuation strategies. You gotta have the whole daggum thing mapped out and planned out. And AI has been really helpful. I've asked for numerous tips to make sure the trip is efficient and enjoyable. And I've got another guy who I work with who I'm verifying these things and these ideas off of. But it's helped me. It's grown fruit in me. It's made me better. It's made me a better planner. It's gonna make this trip more enjoyable, okay? And I can also point to numerous examples where the types of things that it's growing inside of us are things that maybe we didn't know were happening, but they've crept in and we don't necessarily want them there. spoken to a couple of folks here at this church who have actually been personally affected by some of these mass layoffs you're seeing happening by companies who are replacing their jobs with artificial intelligence. And I spoke with a guy a couple weeks ago, and the thing that shocked him most was he said, when I got an email from the CEO explaining that I was being let go, my job was being eliminated, he said, I was shocked by the lack of sympathy and compassion in that email. He said, in fact, if anything, the CEO was excited about it. He said, and I quote, sentence, he goes, we're so sorry for the inconvenience this is causing you, but personally, I couldn't be more excited about the future and the innovation and the profits that our company is now going to be able to experience because of this move. I think if Jesus were offering some commentary here, I think he'd say, if what you're using, if the tool that you're using is causing you to lose compassion, if it's causing you to lose kindness, if it's causing you to lose your generosity, let's use a different example. Because I know some people use it for companionship and friendship, right? They're really lonely. And as a result of that, it only exacerbates their isolation from the larger community. If it's detaching you and severing you more and more from your human relationships. Or let's talk about the news, right? So many news channels now can use AI and they can tailor what type of news they feed you based off of what you already like and agree with. And so if that's now the information that you're digesting week in and week out, if that's now the way in which you see the world, if you're using it in that way, my friend, it ain't a fruit no more. It's a poison. And it's killing your mind. It's killing your heart. It can kill your spirit. What is it doing to you? What is it growing in you? I think Jesus would ask. Thirdly and finally, I think he would ask one last question, and it's along these same lines. Not just what is it doing to you, what is it growing in you, but what is that fruit doing to other people too? Not only what is it doing to you, but what is it doing to the people around you? What is it doing to the world? What is it doing to people maybe you don't even know it's affecting? And again, I'm going to be very fair this whole time. There's a lot of really beautiful examples where the fruit that it is doing for other people is incredibly good. Spoke with another church member a couple months ago who said that his healthcare center in which he works at has now started using AI-assisted diagnostic tools to help them better their imaging with x-rays, ultrasounds, you name it. It's not a substitute for an actual flesh and body person who's scanning you, but that AI tool comes behind that person to make sure it didn't miss anything. And what they're finding at that clinic is the same thing that we're finding nationwide, that when you use AI-assisted imaging systems, what happens is you increase the accuracy by roughly 5 to 7%. That may not sound like a lot to you, but for some people, that is the difference between you're good to go home and we found something that we just like to take one more quick peek at. And there's a real story. Her name is Liz Kozer. It's a national story. I'll send you the article if you're interested. Who went in, she had some stuff going on with her lungs, had an x-ray. The x-ray technician did a wonderful job, performed a beautiful, wonderful exam, and they said, and just to be safe, we're gonna bring in this AI tool to do one last scan. They found this tiny little speck, turned out to be lung cancer, saved her life. It's producing really good fruit in the lives of others. And we're learning more and more of some of the not so good fruit it's producing, not only just for others, but for our world. This has come out recently that as especially environmental scientists have looked at AI and the consequences of AI, they're finding that they're right now, at least in the short term right now, it's causing some pretty harmful things upon our environment. For example, these data centers that hold all of this massive amount of information, these centers are increasingly referred to as environmental hotspots. Why? Because they produce so much carbon emissions that the temperature on the ground at these data centers is 16 degrees higher than all of the surrounding area around it. And furthermore, the water it takes to run these things is insane. It takes roughly between 100 and 200,000 gallons of water just to get one new AI model up and running. Now, there was a time in our history when we first started driving automobiles, and those things were the most inefficient things on planet Earth, okay? They're just pumping out black gas everywhere. We were like, who cares? This is awesome. Look how fast I can go. Woo! Right? And then eventually, what happened? We were like, that probably is not good. And we evolved, right? We started putting regulations in place. We started finding more responsible ways to use this brand new technology. And personally, I am hopeful that humanity will do it again. We will look at these things, we will learn these things, and we'll say, okay, what is a better way to do this? But here's my point. I think this would be Jesus' point. That only happens if someone has the frickin' guts to stand up and say, yeah, this is great, but what about our neighbor? That's your job. In every room that you're in, that's no one else's job. That's your frickin' job. When there's wonderful data plots of profits and all the wonderful things that could happen, you have to be the person in the room who gives a damn about what this is doing to others. It's your job. I'll close here. I hope what I did was paint what I believe to be a really accurate picture of this tool. Tools, my view, tools by definition are neutral. They're not good, they're not bad. It's how you use that tool that dictates the morality of it or not, okay? So I think if Jesus were here and Jesus had a voice in the conversation, what he'd say is, where it's producing good fruit, enjoy it responsibly, right? Kind of like a Coors Light commercial. Enjoy responsibly, I think Jesus would say. And then I think he would follow it up by saying, and not if, but when. When. These wonderful, beautiful tools that you all have cooked up, when it is obvious that they are starting to harm you and harm one another, or if you're just unsure, then please, I'm begging you, slow down. Or stop even until you find a better way. I think he'd say one more thing too. I think he'd say, and also, just know that when it comes to the spiritual life, when it comes to you and me, I think Jesus would say, just make sure that you've got the right expectations for this thing. Because you see, friends, AI, artificial intelligence, technology writ large, it always comes along, and what does it always promise? More. We can give you more. More information, more understanding, more insight, more capability, more power, more time, more efficiency, more effectiveness. And I don't know about you, but when I read the Gospels, more often than not, what I hear Jesus saying is the path to me is not the path with more, it's actually the path with less. John the Baptist had this famous saying where he'd say, I must decrease if he is going to increase. I'm going to have to decrease the noise in my life and the voices in my life and all of the information that's flooding into my mind and my sensibilities. I need less busyness and chaos if I'm going to stand a chance at connecting more with this God that I love. The Garden of Eden is actually a warning shot from the very beginning of human civilization to say that sometimes our impulse to do more, want more, know more, to be more doesn't lead to a richer connection with God, but it can actually sever our relationship with God. So put simply, my point is simply this. I think Jesus would just want to remind us that while you leave here today and you head out into the world, and by and large, the loudest message you're going to get from the world is, you got to add more to your life. You got to add more to your life. Add some of this, add some of that, add some of this. The pathway that is always going to be prescribed to you, the pathway you're always going to be encouraged to walk on is one where you add. In that still small voice, those who have ears to hear it will be the ones that hear Jesus say, yeah, but the path to me ain't through addition. It's through subtraction.
Thank you for listening to the Peak Podcast. Make sure you subscribe wherever podcasts can be found. For more information on how to get connected with our church, please visit us at thepeakchurch.org.